Hi, my name is Vinnie Hager, visual artist. I've been full-time art for maybe 5 or 6 years now. Artwork's based in drawing, do different shapes and symbols and patterns, and I take those patterns and adhere them to everything from traditional mediums like drawing, painting, furniture, clothing, and then of course into the digital Web3 space. And I'm excited to talk about art today. The first thing that drew me to generative art would be, I think I was just on Twitter, down the rabbit hole on Twitter, just sharing my artwork there as a different social media. And then of course I started to see art blocks, chromey squiggles, all that good stuff. So I started to learn more about generative art. I'm still trying to broaden my horizons and learn more and more, but it definitely piqued my interest into what was possible with generative art. I think for my artwork, I haven't stepped into that just yet, but it's something that I'd like to continue to learn more about as I continue to explore it. Thinking about generative art, when I was starting to put together my kind of Genesis collection letters, which was 1,000 hand illustrated one-of-one pieces, I wanted to originally make it generative, but I didn't have the kind of know-how to code it. So I took a more maybe analog generative approach where I just kind of drew everything using repetition and my kind of icons and shapes and symbols. But I'd like to dive deeper eventually here into more generative art, especially here in Marfa. I mean, it's everywhere. So it's great to learn and to see what other artists are making and creating. I think my background coming from, had a very artistic household. Both my mom and dad were very creative in different ways. My mom did a lot of design work and my dad worked with his hands and had more of like a mechanical thinking brain. And I think I got really good genes from both of them and grew up in a household where I was pushed into the arts, and I was always having coloring books and chalk on the driveway and just doing that as a kid for so long that naturally just kept doing it, and that really seeped into all the artwork that I create now. To get into my creative flow state, I'm definitely very addicted to drawing constantly. I always have like 1,001 ideas in my brain, so usually either wake up and just kind of look at the tasks for the day, and then I'm always drawing. Twitter and social media, of course, is inspiring to see what everybody else is working on, and it's just, I lucked out, and I have probably the opposite of an artist's block. Sometimes it's, overly too many ideas and too many projects or things that I want to create, so I think I lucked out there and really fortunate to just be constantly inspired by not only my peers and other artists, but definitely the Web3 space as a whole is really inspiring, and I would say just life is inspiring. Well, we're here in Marfa, and I got a small exhibition with white walls right now, so it's a bit of a retrospective from the first artwork that I minted maybe back in 2020 all the way up into a new animated piece that I made just for the gallery show here today. And then other than that, I'm always working on clothing, murals, a bunch of other projects. And then in the new year, I'm going to be working on some new broader digital projects. So a little bit under wraps for now, but always working on stuff. When I look at my work, usually I'll go straight through a piece, whether it's either a painting or a drawing or even a digital piece. I'll do kind of one pass and I'll just finish a piece. Then sometimes I'll revisit works. It's interesting, but usually, I don't know how to phrase it. I don't want to say like one and done kind of thing, but usually I'll do a drawing and okay, that's finished, on to the next one. It's more of a more the merrier kind of thing. I'm always just trying to jump from thing to thing to thing to thing to project. Yeah, I think for the evolution of my artwork, it was really kind of started to crystallize and to form into something that I was really interested in and tied to probably like middle school, high school. I was, I've told this story before, but just the kid in middle school or high school that can't pay attention into class, that's always drawing on all of his papers, all of his handouts, and kind of formed this shapes and symbols and these patterns from there. And I was just, like I mentioned earlier, just drawing and drawing and drawing. And I think something clicked then that I just couldn't stop drawing these shapes and these forms, and that led me to continue to explore mediums from there. I had a friend that was like, hey, have you ever drawn on pants, or have you ever drawn on these kind of obscure objects even? And so I took what I did during my classes and put that onto other materials and mediums, and I think that really continued the engine and the thought process of what would be possible within my kind of art making that I was doing. So I think after that, it started to kind of compound, and I was really interested in to see how many different materials or mediums I could explore within my patterns and my iconography and those things, which wasn't something I ever expected. I think I lucked out with that, with my drawing style, that it's able to easily be applied to any kind of material or medium, which I've continued to explore as I get into the digital world or generative stuff, and really interesting. So I'm always getting more and more ideas. So we'll see what's next. It means a lot for me to be here in Marfa. I think I've had FOMO for the past 3 or 4 years. So I'm really excited to make the trek with some friends and to have some opportunities to show some work and really learn more about generative art as a whole and the kind of art scene that's been established here in Marfa. So really excited just to be soaking up the sun in the desert and checking out everybody's showcases and their gallery shows and all the different events here. So it's been really great, and it's really really honored to be here, and it's a great time. I'm excited to come back next year. And you can find me at Vinnie Hager, just my name, on Instagram, Twitter /X, and post all my artwork there. I'm always sharing new projects, new artwork, and all the stuff that I'm working on.